Peter Buttigieg and his stupid DEI hires in air traffic control. So the former Secretary of Transportation, Peter Buttigieg, wanted to stick all kinds of DEI hires in charge of serious, life-in-hand, no-joke situations. So this dude, Mayor Pete, wanted to hire dwarves, the mentally ill, schizophrenics, and epileptic seizure patients to be in charge of aviation and air traffic control positions. Could you imagine that? A dwarf trying to run an air traffic control situation? That would be wild. I mean, I can understand if they were being hired as staff, working around the airport moving people's bags and stuff like that, but putting a dwarf in charge of people's fate at an air traffic control station? I mean, that's just pure insanity right there. Mayor Pete Buttigieg also wanted to put epileptic seizure patients as airline pilots. I mean, just think of that for a second. Like, you're halfway through a flight on a 747, you're 30,000 feet up in the air, and boom, all of a sudden, your DEI pilot has a seizure, or just all of a sudden passes out mid-flight. I mean, what kind of retard is this Pete Buttigieg dude? Back in 2022, Pete Buttigieg had a transportation proposal. He wanted to hire mentally ill and schizos to be in general aviation and airline jobs. All because Pete Buttigieg thought that people with mental problems had some sort of impairment, which made them therefore a minority and a DEI hire. And he wanted these people to get jobs, so what better place to stick them than in the aviation and airline industry? I mean, like, could you imagine boarding a plane and you're a little nervous about the flight, and then all of a sudden, some bipolar schizo chick flips out on you while you're boarding the flight? That would put your mind at ease right there, right? Some ex-tweaker chick who became a flight attendant flips because she's having a withdrawal or something like that. Let's take a look at this Pete Buttigieg character. If I had to dream up the most homo name I could ever create, it would be Peter Buttigieg. And that's actually what the sucker's name is. So this dude was mayor of some small Indiana town, and he was a top 5 presidential candidate. Really, no senator experience, no Congress experience, and he was the mayor of South Bend, I'm not making this up, for just a few years, and boom, he's a top presidential candidate just like that. All because he was the first gay candidate. And he goes right to the top. That's DEI in a nutshell for you. I just love how all the other politicians call him Pete Buttigieg, and they say it that way to make it sound more minority sounding, as in Buddha, the Chinese god figure, and judge. I mean, that just sounds more professional right there. But they all know deep down, it's a Buttigieg. I mean, how the heck do they get judge from the word geeg? I mean, it looks more like gig, as in gig for an activity you do with your bum. We totally don't need DEI hires doing things where American lives are put on the line like this. Peter Buttigieg proposed a bill where overweight minority, lesbians, can immediately become airline pilots within like barely 2 years of having Air Force experience. So if a 50-year-old straight white dude has his aviation doctorate degree, and he's been in the Air Force for 20 years, and he's been a pilot for 20 years, he loses the job to some 23-year-old gender-pronounced chick, all because she has darker skin and she knows how to lick pouch. There's a ton of these DEI hires still like in the industry, and they've been there since like 2021, 2022, and just now, Trump is barely getting rid of them. I mean, no wonder why all these planes are blowing up left and right. Boom! Boom! Right? It's crazy.